Alright, let's continue. Dunmorrow. We gotta do Wendigo mains. Ooh, Rex, what's up, dude? How's it going? I did see you guys tracked down my Twitch stuff. I was like, wait, what am I getting these emails for? Oh. That was nice of them. Ooh. It's still very, very early for me. I still want to figure out how the hell you get up there. Because it looks like that's up. Not solved this yet. Can I go around this way? This is not the intended route, but maybe I can Skyrim my way up the wall. Zona's my favorite music in all of WoW. Yeah, Dunmorrow is pretty solid. I'm definitely very partial to the storytelling of like Elwyn, Duskwood, Red Ridge, and Westfall all put together, and then how that like ties into Dustwallow and Blackrock Mountain. But I really like the I really like Dunmorrow as a zone, just in general. I don't know why. I'm from Buffalo. Snow is a thing that I have to deal with 9 months out of the year generally. And shoveling is a pain in the ass. Okay, so we have debris. We can definitely get up there somehow. Just I'm not seeing it. Yeah, this and Winter Spring have to be like my two favorite zones design-wise. I don't really know why. I think whoever designed the zones just did a really good job with the color white. Throwing snow details on the thing. It's the same reason why, like, as annoying as it is, I like building in the snowy biomes in Minecraft. I don't know why. I just like snow for some reason. How in the hell do you get up the side of this mountain? Huh. Is it back through here? Same snowy ambience as calming, which is funny. I'm pretty sure this track is used in the Barrens? Or at least a version of it is. Old Icebeard. Oh, he's a rare. I don't know if I can kill you. I'd be willing to try, but I don't know if I could. It might kick my ass. Okay, I think we can get up there from here at least. Ever seen WoW play with a controller? It's an add-on called Console Port. I think the development for it actually started in Battle for Azeroth, but I don't know for sure. It might have been before that. That was when I learned of it, and ever since I've learned of it, I only play like this now. I hated playing WoW with mouse and keyboard for all the years I've played it. I've been playing since Wrath of the Lich King. I don't know if I'd be able to take on... I feel like he's gonna hit really hard is the problem. It's definitely gotten better because the accessibility teams added a lot of extra features that just made it functionally nicer. Like they have like an actual interact button, which is what's mapped to X. And then the add-on has, like, because I like healing, it is a raid target. So I can, instead of having to mouse over, and it is like built-in mouse over macros. So when I'm doing this, it just automatically will take my mouse over target. And it's harder to show off when it's just me, but it's really nice. My favorite thing is I have twin stick movement, which is just super, super nice. It makes dodging mechanics so much better. And a month's worth of dried meat salted and locked away for the cold season. Kept it locked so the bears wouldn't get it. While I was off hunting deer, that beast old Icebeard made off with the meat locker. Won't be able to smash through the thorium though. But I'll starve if I can't get my meats back. He's a bit more stealthy than me. Perhaps you can retrieve my stash? I'll never make it in and out of that cave fast enough with this bum leg of mine.
Off with you.
The other add-on is Immersion by the same developer. Something fucky with it. It's both in this version and in retail. It is throwing that, it's trying to do something that's exclusive to the Blizzard UI. I don't know what's causing it though. Also play Paladin like healing. I enjoy the whack-a-mole of clicking on the party grid. Yeah. It's really nice in retail because they built, there's a bunch of, because they brought the talent system back and there's a bunch of new talents that play into the, I think it was introduced in Burning Crusade, but the deal damage and your damage will then heal. Kind of like what Discipline Priest has. And I really enjoy it. Okay, I can't do anything about bleeds and magic effects. We might be fine. I might be able to kill him. Low mana is a problem.
I need more mana.
Okay, we might not be killing him. Yeah, we're dead. Might have to come back and do this quest later. I might not be high enough level to handle this one. It's close. Like if I didn't miss as often as I did, which is just I have to be higher level, there's not anything I can do about that. I don't think hit rating existed on items until like Naxxramas and Burning Crusade. But no, the whole objective is all the quests for like the vanilla zones. I didn't read any of this shit when I was a kid. And I was like, you know what? It'd be fun waiting for Mario Wonder. Go back and play a little bit. And actually read the quest dialogue this time. Plus, I really like the playstyle of Paladin in Classic. I like that seals aren't just put seal up and then it's up. Like, they're actually like rotational buttons to press. Okay, you can't go this way, apparently. I loved the Paladin Classic, played a mage in vanilla, and then rerolled Blood Elf Paladin BC. It seems brutal. Honestly, I really like Paladin in vanilla. I think I would like this way more than I'd like Warrior. That's just that was an elite that I was trying to solo. That's the problem, I think, there. I don't think you're supposed to kill him. I think you're supposed to wait for him to patrol out of the cave and then go in and get the item for the quest and then leave. I don't think you're supposed to try and fight him. Yeah, it's neat because you get the seals you get are 30-second buffs, and then when you judge, they all do different things. So Seal of the Righteous, when you judge it, it consumes the seal, and then it deals holy damage, and then you reapply it. Seal of the Crusader increases your attack power, or it reduces your attack power, but it increases your attack speed. by a percentage, and then when you judge, it puts a debuff on the target that refreshes every time you hit them. That increases the holy damage they take. I'm like, this is way nicer. There's a lot of aspects about Paladin that I really like. The current versions of Ret and Holy on in Dragonflight, but there's definitely systems and things of how it worked that I miss from like the old days. I'm not as much of a fan of Wrath. Wrath's class design I honestly don't like a whole lot for almost any class. Like, I like Wrath for its story and its content, but I don't like its class design. I'm definitely vanilla and TBC pilled in that regard. You see how he patrolled away? He was walking down the thing. You're supposed to do this. You're not supposed to fight him. I just wanted to see if I could kill him. Like, current Ret Paladin in Dragonflight is probably my favorite rendition. It's the only class in the game that utilizes a combo system. Like, I'm talking like Final Fantasy XIV combo system. There's a talent you can take for Crusader Strike that changes it into a 2-button combo. And it turns it into a cleave attack. It's really nice. Never even played Wrath. I played through Vanilla and Burning Crusade, then didn't come back to Legion. My condolences, because Legion was only good for like its first patch. Legion was good until Tomb of Sargeras came out, and then the growing pains showed, oh, all these systems they're throwing into the game that are pulled out of ARPGs fucking suck.
Here there. Be good.
Kind soul you are, Spexia. Thanks to your bravery, I won't find myself starving when the cold season flurries blow in. I need these bracers? I do need those bracers.
Watch your back.
Yeah, Wrath was fun for the story. Cataclysm was an interesting time just for the changes it did to the old world. But a lot of Cataclysm's issues was like content cadence felt really bad. And then it just didn't feel like Dragon Soul got the time it needed. It felt like more time was put into the 5-mans, and the raid was not very good. Pandaria was incredible. Pandaria is like Dragonflight. It's the best expansion nobody played. People got all hung up like, oh, what's with these fucking pandas? Tell me you didn't play the Warcraft games and know who Chen Stormstout is without telling me you didn't play the Warcraft games. Now, Pandaria had some of the best content and its cadence and its design ever. The only thing that was bad about Pandaria was it changed the talent system. If Pandaria had not changed talents, it would have been even better. Warlords is where we started to see a lot of issues with, you know, time management in terms of the design of the game. But I still attribute that entire thing was they took Metzen off of the, off leadership of the WoW team and moved him up to managing Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, Diablo, StarCraft, and World of Warcraft. And then also working on the movie. And when you take, you know, the creative director of World of Warcraft who's kept the game in the direction it needs to go in since its conception, yeah, it's not gonna go very well. That's gonna cause problems. So when they announced Metzen's finally back and like actively working specifically on Warcraft, I'm like, thank God. Now the game will be back on track and be good again. I had friends that constantly like, oh, Metzen has no idea what he's doing, he's a hack. Like, no. You just don't like the story for WoW. It's a good story, it's handled really well. It's just not your flavor, that's why you don't like it. It's not because Metzen's bad at it. Probably kept playing WoW if it was just for fun, but I was also working at Blizzard during Vanilla and BC, so it was both my job and my hobby. Yeah, that'll definitely kill you. When you spend all day working on the game to go home and then play the game, and you're like, wow, I just feel like I'm still at work. What the fuck? What'd you work on? Out of curiosity. I can look out for your handiwork. Or be mad at you that you designed something that was awful. Oh, I was just a GM? Ah. still, that is a, probably one of the most important jobs. No, I'm not gonna lie, like, for years I've always wanted to be a game master for World of Warcraft. I got hopeful when when work from home started to be a thing, but then they walked that back, and I was like, oh, well, that's not great. I'm happy with the job I have, though. This is going way nicer than trying to fight the elite solo. Yeah, I definitely understand that. When a hobby becomes a job, it tends to, it warps your perspective on it. Definitely a thing you want to be careful of. Really? My mana is low. It was basically a big office full of nerds. At our first office in New Mexico, we blacked out all the windows and replaced all the overhead lighting with black lights. That's fantastic. The way I tell people all the time, like, you hear like these horror stories of working at places, and like, you gotta remember, like, a lot of that is pretty isolated. And it's just like any place. There's always gonna be some shitlord that works there. Granted, I can tell you, even where I worked, I can tell you that any story that's come out about shit that happened over there, I can assure you, from my own experience, oh, they're more than likely true. Like 100% almost always true. But there definitely were problems.
I need to get closer.
I think what's good at least is pretty much everybody that's causing the problems got their ass fired. My only fear for WoW going into the future at all now at this point, honestly, is the Microsoft buyout. I'm honest to God terrified that WoW is gonna go free to play to get put on Game Pass. And then that is going to be the actual death sentence for this game. Because any MMO that has ever gone full free-to-play has irrevocably gutted itself in every possible way. Like that's honest to God my only real fear for this game is a push to hyper-monetize the game and push it into free-to-play. And all I can see the game doing is going the exact same route of Destiny 2, and I would hate to see that. You know, I don't think people realize the necessary evil that a subscription fee is, because the subscription fee it's the stopgap against unsurmountable evil. Just the worst possible scenarios are prevented by a subscription fee.
What can I do for
You
you?
get that Evershine? I did. I still do just fine. I think I'll open a bottle right now and have a taste.
Keep your feet on the ground. You got my attention.
Spexia, back to Grizzled Den yet? Those Wendigos can be fierce.
Very good.
Ah, yes. These mains will work great. Show a lot of grit, Paladin. I wager we'll see great things from you.
With you.
Okay, so we can go back to Stormwind if I needed to. Probably do the rest of the quests here and finish off the rest of the other half of Dunmoreau before we go back and continue Elven Forest. Empty my inventory first. Yeah, that's one of those things I would hate to see. Oh yeah, we get StarCraft back and we get this. Yeah, but at what cost? Microsoft does not have the greatest track record in the world. But they did so well with Age of Empires 2, okay? What about their lost decade? What about their countless missteps with Halo? What about all the other numerous things they have constantly screwed up? I'm sorry, but Microsoft does not instill confidence. Where does the ammunition go? Oh, down the road. Okay, I see it. Like, where the hell does this quest turn in? But it's a big wait and see, honestly. I really hope that they leave Blizzard to a good amount of autonomy, and it's Call of Duty that they're actually... Like, Call of Duty and King, I hope are the two things that they're really gonna be, you know, get all their fingers involved in. I hope that they leave Blizzard as like, hey, you guys just go be Bethesda or id, and we're just not gonna bother with you. You go have fun. Make your things, make us money. As long as the number go up, we don't really need to worry about what you're doing. I'm optimistic that that's what it is, and World of Warcraft is at least in a very safe position. And the fact that it makes money hand over fist for Blizzard, and is not... It's the one game that even when they make mistakes isn't falling apart at the seams. Because now they've got 2 games on maintenance mode, a franchise that hasn't seen a content release since its last expansion, and then 2 other mainline service games that are both a collective failure in every regard, because Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are effectively systematic failures in every possible conceivable way. World of Warcraft, even at Shadowlands, was successful, as crazy as that sounds. The players may not have liked it very much, but the game didn't die, which is impressive.
How are you?
It took a beating, but it isn't dead.
See you soon.
If you're not here for ammo, because I'm almost out.
Be good.
Great, more ammo. Old Lossler's shipment finally came through. The ammo might be late, but just like my granddaddy used to tell me, late's better than never. Thank you much, Spexia. I already have buyers eager for the stuff.
Safe travel.
So that turns that in. Yeah, D4 I've only heard nobody enjoyed. Pretty much everybody is like, wow, this game is bad. And then the season came out like, wow, this game is worse. And I guess season 2 is supposed to be coming up and like making changes and adjusting, and like the worst part that it is that people have become just apathetic and don't care. I didn't mind Shadowlands. I like the whole idea of exploring the world. Oh, I love the idea of exploring the world of the dead. My issue was its execution and the fact that it tried to like parasite itself onto Arthas's story and the story of Warcraft 3 and play the, oh no, it wasn't actually Arthas, it was this big mysterious guy that we're never going to explain any of his motivations of. It tripped over itself before it even got started and never recovered from how much it continued to fumble itself. It was entirely called in, and if anything, it felt like it was insulting any investment I had in the storytelling. In my opinion, I'm very happy that through Dragonflight we have so far gone through and effectively just kind of treated it as a bad dream. It never happened. It's literally this emote. Gotcha. This one was a writer. Never happened. It isn't real. Not this time. Nope. It's literally... I'm really glad that that's the way they looked and go, yeah, that was a bad idea. I think it gets mentioned once by a world boss when they die. And even then, like, everybody collectively went, please don't bring up that garbage. Take that voice line out of the game. Like, everyone got mad about it. I don't think we'll be hearing about Shadowlands. Really at all. Maybe when we hear about, like, Sylvanas next time, but, like, the World Tree is, like, the one time we see it, because that is tied to it. But Shadowlands suffered from the same thing BFA did. It just did it in a worse way, because at least BFA was in stories rooted in Azeroth. But BFA tried to be 4 expansion stories all at the same time in one expansion, so you never got any time to experience any of them. So it fumbled its main story of the war campaign, and then fumbled the story of the Drust, and then fumbled the story of Mechagon, and then fumbled the story of the Naga and Ajara, and then fumbled the story of the Old Gods and N'Zoth. And it was like, wow, this was Whiplash, and then tried to roll back to the war campaign and then lead into Shadowlands, which none of it... The war campaign was the only strong part of the expansion, but it tried to do everything all at once, and was like, wow, this did not work. This did not work at all. BFA compounded every mistake made in Legion, and they learned all the wrong things. Yeah, the main story for Kultiris and Zandalar is completely fine. Really enjoyed it. The main thing that was the issue was time gating the war campaign and then sequestering it off to the side through the mission table and its own like weekly lockout thing. They didn't focus on how the war campaign resolved itself in a way that players got to easily engage with. Time gating that story was a really fucking stupid idea. And then on top of that, locking the storyline with Jaina to where no one really got to experience that misses all of her character development and why it's important. Same thing with Talanji's story, and then Talanji's other character development being locked into the book that leads into Shadowlands was, again, like, why is all of that information in a book and not in the video game? Same with, like, all the character development for setting up Anduin and Sylvanas, and then Sylvanas' entire character needing a book to not only recover her character, but explain her entire motivations for the Shadowlands expansion, because, again, none of it was in-game, is a collective narrative failure. And, like, that's a big thing of, like, what are you guys doing? What the fuck? Could you imagine being... just making such an egregious amount of mistake after mistake in your storytelling that the guy who wrote the story had to come out of retirement to fix the mistake? It's just embarrassing. And I'm sure it's not everyone that did it, but good lord. What were you thinking? A lot of BFA and Shadowlands really felt like, did you guys even play World of Warcraft before you started making this? Have any of you played the video game? Like, to say nothing of the systems designers. Systems and encounter design, I'm just as upset with Hazakastas about that. Like, what are your teams doing? You guys built on all the things we hated. But just the way that the storytelling went was like, did you guys just start writing for WoW and they gave you a spreadsheet of here's all the characters in WoW, go nuts, and then you've never played any of the game or engaged in any of the storytelling? Go watch 4 novel videos and you could write a better story than what they wrote. The fact that World of Warcraft hung on through BFA and Shadowlands back-to-back dogshit expansions after half of Legion also being fucking awful, and then Warlords being a colossal failure, the fact WoW is even still around is impressive. Because Dragonflight is like the culmination of, wow, alright, we're gonna actually learn from all the things we shouldn't have done and do all the opposite of the things we've been doing. And so far, Dragonflight has been a complete 180. It's not perfect, but it's a 180 step in the right direction.
Great to meet ya.
We heard the cries in the middle of the night. Then this morning, sure enough, the herd was missing 2 rams. That dastardly beast known as Vagash has been preying on our livelihood. Most of King Magni's army off in distant lands fighting with the Alliance, there's no one to keep Vagash at bay. Perhaps you were brave enough to seek out the beast and slay him. Bring me one of his fangs and I'll reward you. Vagash lurks just above the ranch here, but be warned, he's deadly.
Off with ya.
Is this one listed as a... yeah, this one's listed as a group quest. Or at least an elite. Yeah, it's not even like, oh, they retconned this thing out of the story or they completely changed this. No, the problem is the expanded perspective and like recontextualization of events by giving you more information. The more information you gave on the events was not the more information players wanted from the events. The more information and new context you gave just tried to handwave events that happened and effectively just diminished investment because it meant those events now had meaning behind them that was meaningless instead of, you know, like, oh, okay. Like the jailer being actually in control of Arthas and his entire character existing means all of Arthas's actions never meant anything. He wasn't ever in control and actually doing what was right for his people. He was just mind controlled. He was just mind controlled. All of Arthas's motivations weren't real. He was just mind controlled. It was the jailer. He was doing exactly what the jailer had been planning. That is an example. It's not a retcon. All you've done is cheapen the experience. The best example is it's what the Hobbit movies do to the original Lord of the Rings movies. Are the Hobbit movies bad? No. But their existence shits all over the original trilogy. That's why I fucking hate them. Because it just cheapens the experience. Or like what Rings of Power does to Galadriel's character is it's the same character assassination Sylvanas goes through. Because it just doesn't explain any of her actions at all, and it's just, what are you doing? You have like multiple personality disorder of a character. What are you doing to this character? Yeah, it's one of those things I for sure hope that they just put the lid on Shadowlands forever and we never see it again. We fixed how death works, the machine of death functions properly, people die like they're supposed to again, and they go to where they're supposed to when they die, and we'll never see it ever again. I don't think I can kill Vagash. I think I need to be a little higher level for this. Yeah, I probably can't solo this. Yeah, I only got him to like half. I'm already out of health. And mana. Alright, yeah. That ain't gonna happen. We're gonna have to come back to kill him later. Yeah, that's the problem. None of it's a retcon. There are definitely story missteps that are like, what are you doing? Like I love the Death Knight storytelling in Legion for the class hall, but what the fuck are you doing with Bolvar's character in the Legion class hall? It doesn't make any sense. That entire quest line doesn't make any sense. Like, I get what they wanted to do, but Bolvar basically telling the player character, who then becomes the leader of Acheris, look, you're gonna do the things I tell you to do, and if you think, and if I don't care if you disagree with them with the methods, if you don't do it, I'll just mind control all the other Death Knights and make you watch that I'm gonna force them to do it. And it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense for not only his character, but even after he takes control of the helmet. Like, it was just nonsense. It was like, what is this? Like, that doesn't fit Bolvar's character at all. Even with the helmet's influence, he still had compassion and understood morality. Just the writing was all over the place for that. I was like, this is dumb. I really like the Death Knight one. Is the worst part about that. Is like, the Death Knight one's really good. The Paladin one, I think, is the strongest written one because it doesn't fuck up how the characters are supposed to be written at all. Establishing the Paladin as the High Lord made a hell of a lot of sense, but the Death Lord story was like, it was really cool and it was like really interesting to do. But like, just the way they wrote Bolvar's character was completely out of character, completely out of touch. It's interesting, I haven't played a Death Knight, so I don't know everything about their stories. The only Legion class I ever did was Paladin. The only ones I never did was Monk, Druid, and Monk, Druid, and one other. There's 3 classes I don't play as why. I have a bunch of alts, but there's 3 classes I just don't have. Monk and Druid are 2 of them. But yeah, the Paladin Order Hall I really liked. That one was done really, really well. I really liked the way it established itself off of the opening, because the opening is like, oh, the demons are showing up. Well, the Silver Hand go to deal with it. Well, then the word comes back, oh shit. The Silver Hand were very underprepared. It's a full-scale invasion. So the Paladin one takes place of going back to get Tyrion right after the introduction push, which was really good. and then it plays off of you picking up the Ashbringer and taking that mantle of High Lord. I really liked how that played itself together. It did a really good... The Paladin one did a really good job. The Mage one was really cool, but it plays off of, like, a character you only know of if you did missions in Warcraft 2, I think? Warcraft 2 or Warcraft 3. So I didn't understand it all because I've never played... A lot of that, and, like, the Hunter one was another one that was, like, a Warcraft 3 enemy that I never knew anything about. The Rogue one was really well done. The Priest one... The Priest one tried to play off of the Paladin one, but that I felt like that fell flat. I don't think that did a great job. Like I said, my biggest grievance is the missed opportunity with the Death Knight one was just, it's such a good premise and such a good way to do it. And I really liked that the Death Knight had the option to, you can just be ruthless with your interactions with the storytelling and just go, yep, understood, I'm going to do it. But I loved that every time some decision came up, there was a choice that allowed the Death Knight to play the role that the Death Knights have and go, no, this isn't who we are. We broke from this. It's just the way it was presented by making those interactions was not handled well. That was my issue with it. Because that's the whole point of Acheris, is they aren't part of the Lich King. They aren't merciless death machines. They remember their humanity. That's the whole point of the class. That's the whole point of the descent on New Avalon. Like the whole introduction for your Death Knight is establishing that. So like when they went and set that up that way with the storytelling, I was like, how'd you guys do it at Boulevard, man? Come on. Did you even see the ending cinematic to Wrath of the Lich King? Come on.
How are ya?
Light-blasted Troggs turning my work site into a wreck. Look at that. There goes another barrel of powder. I wish I could go down there and wring every one of their scrawny little necks. I want to kill them all. This can't be good for my health, all this stress and anger. What have they left me with? Nothing. Kill them myself, but my aim's no good anymore. You go into the quarry and kill some of the filthy buggers. I'll pay you if you just hurt them. I'll pay you. Just hurt them. Kill them.
Safe travels.
Okay. I can do that.
What's on your mind?
As a member of the Senate and the Explorers League, I've taken it upon myself to take care of this part of the Trogg infestation that has gripped our lands. We've certainly made a mess of Golbalar Quarry, and for no reason. As we dug deep into the earth, they poured out, destroying our equipment and driving the miners out. Not much for us to do but exterminate the lot of them, rebuild, and get back to work. If you help me with the Troggs, I'll gladly recompense you for your time.
Off with you.
Yeah, that's my issue, is there's a lot of cut content from Warlords of the Shadowlands, and a lot of storytelling missteps. Not even retcons, just outright. What are you doing? Do you understand the story you're telling, or did you never played the game before? This is what it feels like. It's very frustrating. I still love the game. There's still a lot of parts that I really enjoy. There's just some parts that are like, you lose points for this. You're losing points here, I'm sorry. This is bad. Like, WoW's never been, like, bad. I would say Shadowlands was like a 4 out of 10, and that's probably the lowest WoW has ever been. But, like, everything else was just mediocre or, like, good lord. Like, for a game like this, you don't want to be just mediocre, especially when, like, the expectation is like a 7 or 8 out of 10. If at your best you can only hit a 4 or a 5, yeah, maybe you need to rework how you're handling things. And, like, it's really funny because, like, Steve Denuzer's not a bad writer at all. Like, I've played his other games. I know he can do it. I know he's a great concept guy. It's just definitely one of those things of, like, I think there's just people on his team that are like, I have no idea what they're handling. It definitely feels like there's a lot of, I want to make my mark on the game, rather than understanding this is not a game where you go to make your mark like that. You make your mark and understand, showing you understand how to be a caretaker of an existing world. And like you're not trying to establish stories in World of Warcraft. You're caretaking stories in World of Warcraft. It's already an established world. Like when you're writing for a game like this, it's like going into Pokemon and like, I'm gonna rewrite this game and reestablish the whole world's function. Like, no, that's just gonna upset people. What people want is, you know, what they know. Oh, that does not, There we go. That's weird. Those don't work on the hotbar for some reason. A lot of friends that still worked there in various roles until a few years ago, and from what they tell me, there was a lot of internal fuckery going on. Yeah, from what I've been told from people I know that work there, there's a lot of people that are, there's a lot of people from upper management all the way down to the people actually working on stuff that just want anything that was old Blizzard must die. And it's trying to force out old Blizzard, like not even in the culture, but like old style designs and old writing designs, and it shows. Like when WoW isn't big sword, big damage, unga bunga bar, loose broad concepts, the game doesn't feel like Warcraft. But there's also a lot of there's a lot of other parts where it's like you get a lot of like what happened with Warcraft 3, where you get a spiteful leadership team member mad because they got moved off of what they had been working on because they were under investigation and ultimately got themselves fired, sabotaging an entire project from within out of spite is unfortunately kind of something that happens. If you ever need someone to blame for why Warcraft 3 was a collective and colossal failure, it was supposed to go through and kind of like almost add context to Warcraft 3's story with like new quests and new missions and new cutscenes that kind of broadened the scope of what it told you, so it kind of fit better for a transition from Warcraft 3 into vanilla. And so it bridged that gap better instead of having the weird continuity issues where Metzen accepted and like apologized for, hey, I'm sorry I wrote that way, because for either he forgot that, like when he forgot how the Draenei started and he was like, oops, I'm sorry, I completely wrote over that. I forgot that's how I wrote that. My bad. But then there's other times where he's just gone, look, when I wrote that, I went to go set this up and looked at what I wrote and went, wow, this is stupid. So he redid it. That's why a lot of things changed over the course of World of Warcraft from Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. Was a lot of it was Metzen going back and re-looking at his old work and going, I can't build off of this. I'm already in a corner here. So like when something seems like really weird that it's suddenly like between like vanilla and like Mists of Pandaria, it's probably because Chris looked at it and went, oh, what was young me thinking with this? This is terrible. But yeah, no, you can completely blame Warcraft 3's collective and colossal failure in Afrasiabi as entirely his fault. But he's gone now, so it doesn't matter. He's no longer Blizzard's problem, thankfully. When all this shit came out about him, honest to God, I wasn't surprised. I always came off as a complete fucking tool. Like, just a complete fucking piece of shit. There are more than a few of them that anytime I heard them talk about something, I was like, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. This guy doesn't pass the vibe check. And that's just as a customer and a player of the game. That's not even as an employee. I can't imagine what it was like working for them. Like, if you had to work directly under any of those guys, like, I cannot fathom what that was like. Just as a customer, I'm like, you're kind of gross. Can't put my finger on why. I don't get good vibes off you. You are something off with you. They call you. We call that odious. But hey, for all its failings, I still love this game, and I can't see myself not playing World of Warcraft. Maybe not playing it as much because there's other games I want to play, but even when it's bad, I'm still able to find some aspect of it that's like, I still kind of like this part. Like, I still liked in the parts of Shadowlands where when you did get to see Anduin. Somebody had at least good storytelling. I worked at Irvine, so I never really had to deal with the upper management. I had plenty of coworkers who transferred there and pretty much universally regretted it. Leaving the Irvine location or having been at the Irvine location? I know not everybody was bad. Having been at it, yeah. I know not everybody was bad. Not all the teams had bad leadership at Irvine, but there was definitely a lot of the upper management not fantastic for a long while. Like, I have a lot of respect for Morheim for just his ability as a leader to establish stuff, but I feel like he could have handled a lot of that a lot better, because a lot of it happened on his watch. Whew. Yeah, I have heard a lot of horror stories from the specifically Irvine offices. There was a Seattle office too at one point, wasn't there? I don't know if the San Diego office is still there or not. I know they have a Texas office now, and I know they have the Albany office as well. And now they have I think Boston, now that they acquired Proletariat. But I don't know if the San Diego's still there or not.
I can't cast that yet.
I don't know about Seattle. It might have been after my. I know Seattle opened and closed very, very quickly. If it was Seattle, it might have been. I know it's not the Austin office. I know is still open. I'm pretty sure the Albuquerque one is still there. The Irvine one's the one you always hear about though, because that's the one people want to go visit. It's got like the orc statue and all the like cool paraphernalia. But there's some pretty neat shit to see. I'd love to see the Albany offices. That's where like Toys for Bob and them were officed. So there's a lot of like really cool stuff from like not World of Warcraft there. One person I would love to meet someday, and like just to poke his brain on just how it went through, just from being in leadership and from just overall scope, like following scope of design, is fucking Jeff Kaplan. I never hear anything bad about Jeff Kaplan as a member of leadership. Like, of all the people you could say bad things about, everyone only ever has universally good things to say about Jeff. Which is funny because he's a maniacal, like, awful person because he's the one who designed Green Hills of Stranglethorn. Visited the Austin office once while I was there, but I didn't really get to talk to him. Aw, bad. Jeff would be a cool person to sit down and talk to. Metzen would be a cool guy to sit down and talk to, just to poke their brain about just what goes into all of what they do, from designing the game to just actual leadership in general. You know, even Hazakostas. Like, Hazakostas used to be just a player like all of us. He was the guild master for elitist jerks back in the day. He seems like a very, like, level-headed math guy who's, like, very, like, what I see is what it is. He's not, like, a very intuitive guy, but definitely seems like a very matter-of-fact kind of person. But this still, like, seems like a really cool guy to sit down and talk with. Pretty sure Ibarra, I would just tell him to go fuck himself. I don't think I really like Ibarra too much. I wasn't a big fan of when they picked him for
Inventory is full.
for leadership. He was not my pick, that's for sure. Need bone snappers? I don't see any more bone snappers. Oh, there's two over there. Okay, hang on. I got bone snappers. Bone snapper? I legitimately thought these guys were called skull humpers and was like, wait a minute, what? Wait, what? I think I almost have enough copper to finish the blacksmithing quest now. I'd love to meet just like a bunch of the devs and stuff, honestly. I'd love to meet like the encounter design team. Just to like figure out what the way that they look at fight encounters and like, alright, why is the way you guys see things different than how we see things?
I can't carry anymore.
I'd love to meet Lore too. I know he doesn't work for WoW anymore, but he was like the community manager of all community managers. Probably exists on the internet, Rule 42 and all, probably. I hope it doesn't exist, because I don't know who would want that. Nobody should want that. Actually, no, that's a lie. I actually do know a 3D artist that has made that. Never mind. Alright, we may be death walking. I may have made a very, very critical error here. Yeah. Yep. That one's on me. That one was entirely self-inflicted. I thought I could make it. I really thought I'd make it out of the cave. Sure shit didn't. The one thing I'm really happy about though with modern WoW is Dragonflight. Not the expansion, like the mechanic, like the actual system. Probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. I go back to old areas and I'm on ground mounts because I hate old flying. I've always hated old flying. Now I just hate it even more. Old flying sucked. Not only was it bad for the game, just all the way around bad for the game, but it feels awful to use. And now that like dragon riding exists, I go back to like any zone that's not Dragonflight zones because they haven't been able to they haven't implemented it yet to older areas. They're getting there, and I'm pretty sure we'll see it by the end of Dragonflight. They'll implement it around the rest of the world. But like going back to old areas, I just use a ground mount. Like I don't use flying mounts. This just feels bad. It's just all flying mounts ever was a graphical representation of no clip. That's it. Yeah, I was very like when they showed it off, I was like, that's not gonna work. I don't know if this is gonna work. And then I got beta access and jumped on and went, Oh no, this works really well. Holy shit, this works really well. And now I love it. It's fantastic. It's the only way. It's the only flying I will use. If I can't use dragon riding, I will not use flying. Drakthir can use soar in the old areas. Yeah, they were really weird about soar. They nerfed the shit out of it. And they claimed that they nerfed it down because it impacted pet battlers. Their reasoning for nerfing soar was really fucking stupid. But you can still use it. It's nowhere near what it was when it was first implemented. It was definitely a much better racial the way they had it, because Drakthir effectively could use soar as their dragon riding mount, which made sense. But they could use it even in old world areas, which I guess bothered Blizzard for some reason. I don't know why, especially since they plan on putting dragon riding in old areas.
You got my attention.
To me, it felt like you're mad at druids for using their flight form and not their 300 flying mounts that they never use. They have flight form. Why would they ever use their flying mount? They're a fucking druid. Maybe it's because they don't want Drakthir to be just evokers forever. I could see that, but explaining that you eventually want to add other classes to the Drakthir would have been a better reasoning. Because obviously if you have soar as a racial, any class Drakthir can be is automatically the meta class to be. Every class should be Drakthir because now you have built-in flying. So I get that reasoning, but that was not the reasoning they presented. Probably because they don't want to commit to or adding classes to Drakthir, because then if they never do, then it becomes, you know, the classic, well, Blizzard promised this and we never got it. So they're very careful to not say a damned thing anymore about anything they want to put in the game without knowing full well that it's going to happen. It's a start. Hopefully we can take advantage of it and move some mountaineers in to secure the area. Then we can begin to restore our infrastructure and get the miners back to work. Thank you for your assistance, Bexia.
Watch your back.
Alright, easy enough.
Well met.
Yeah, that their reasoning was presented as, oh, well, think of the pet battlers. Like, just say you want to expand what can use the race as a class choice. Don't make up an excuse that that content nobody does will be impacted by soar.
Hi.
This is so dumb. Such a dumb reasoning. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. But I won't be happy until they're all dead. All of them.
See you soon.
That was just a little stop off. A lot of CMs had to eat crow when they started allowing PvE to PvP because they were instructed that it would never happen. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of those reasonings and things come down from someone in management making a really, really stupid call. I can't fault the person presenting the reasoning. The one I'm specifically saying about Drakthir, I'm pretty sure came from Hazakostas himself, though. I can definitely give Ian some shit for a really stupid reasoning. But like when you get like a community manager that has to put out a thing like that or something, it's not their fault. They're just doing what they're told. Even if they don't agree with it, it's just their job. I'm not mad at them. This one in particular, I'm pretty sure was Ian in an interview explained the reasoning as pet battlers, which I'm pretty sure was with Preach, and even Preach went, what? I think his exact response was, oh, okay, and was just kind of stun-locked for a second. I don't remember if that was what it was, or if it was a blue post. I just know that it collectively stun-locked like everybody when they saw it. Everyone was like, hang on, I'm pretty sure I'm taking, psychic damage here. I've got a really strong agony tick going on. I think it's this way we gotta go to get to the other tower. Yeah, there's definitely been some funny moments in like reasoning around design, but I can say the WoW team is 100% 180'd itself off of the last several expansions. Like since Warlords, they've been on a pretty nasty downturn. Dragonflight's finally okay, we can finally start seeing that curve go back up again. All right, you guys have finally kind of caught stride again. Metzen's return's a really good step, because that takes a lot of the onus for trying to control narrative off of the rest of the people who really aren't suited for narrative control. Like everybody else on the WoW team, all the leadership we have now is really good at what they do. Narrative is not any of their strong suit. Like it just isn't. What's really cool to think about though is one of the leaders, the leader of like the retail side of WoW, is the guy who made God of War. I was watching the making of God of War documentary from when the 2016 game came out, or when the 2018 game came out, and was like, I know that guy. I didn't realize he made World of Warcraft. I didn't realize that he, the head of WoW at one point, worked for THQ Nordic and made God of War. Yeah, it was, I can't remember his name now. I should remember his name. No, not GM, not Game Master, General Manager. Jonathan Haidt. That's his name. This guy. Let me pull it up on screen here. Hang on. I don't have a window for Opera. I have a random picture of John Haidt on my screen. This guy right here. John Haidt. This guy. I was watching the God of War documentary and I saw him in there. I was like, I know this guy. I didn't realize he made God of War. That's the general manager of the Warcraft franchise now. That got announced. I was like, you know what? Good choice. Good choice. Him and Holly Longdale have done. I think personally righted the ship in the best way they could have. They 180'd this game off of Shadowlands, because that all happened after patch 9.1. When all the allegations came out and, like, you know, J. Allen Brack got himself fired, this shit about Afrasiabi came out, and they had, like, all those departures of, like, yeah, all this management, we're getting rid of them. We're cleaning house. Like, this shit can't stand anymore. Like, they got really good picks for the Warcraft franchise. They haven't made all good decisions, but it's been a significantly better situation. I don't know how working is, but I can tell you as a customer and a player, I've been much happier, which is definitely an improvement. The community itself has a lot of work that needs to get done, so I would love to see a more active game manager or game master presence, for sure. But that'll take time. That takes design time to design the game to undo years and years of perpetuating toxic behavior in World of Warcraft. Paladin, what takes your business all the way out here? Something exciting, I hope. Haven't been in a good fight in days, and this barrel of ale is almost dry.
Off with you.
Mountaineer Barley Brew tastes the Shimmer Stout. Oh, whoa! This stuff really puts a shine in your eyes. I feel like I can see in the dark.
Watch your back.
Stout de Cadril. I'm drinking more of that Shimmer Stout my brother made. It's great stuff. I want a fellow Mountaineer to try it. His name is Cadril, and he's usually patrolling the road through Thelsimar and Loch Madan. To get to Thelsimar, go southeast through the tunnel, then turn northeast when the path forks into a road. Follow that road straight into Thelsimar. Give Mountaineer Cadril a cask of Shimmer Stout and see what he thinks.
Off with you.
Right, so that's taking us to the whole next area. Let's go back through the cave, because there's another quest up there. I think we almost have everything out here done. Ugh, the hiccups again.